Hi guys, so here are my two Blend Bunny cosmetics palettes that have magnetic bands, and I've mentioned in a couple of videos that I would like to kind of change up the color story and make it a little bit more me, because this lens palette that I have over here is very matte heavy and only has two shimmers. This one is kind of half and half, but it is very dark, and I kind of, even when I do darker looks, I need one like lighter shade, either matte or shimmer, but just something that's lighter. So I'm kind of gonna like mix them together to create like a perfect color stories for me, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. What I actually already did, because I didn't want this video to be like 75 hours long, is that I took out all of the shades and I actually written down their names on the back of the pans. So let me take one out and show you the magnetic tool. I'm sorry, it's the other way around. So as you can see, I have which palette is it from. I know that these are Blend Bunny because this shape and size is only from Blend Bunny. I don't have any other palette or any other brand that is like that. So we have the Beauty Below and then the shade Devour. So that's what's over here. And we're just gonna go and create a color story that will fit us nicely. So I was kind of thinking about the shade Nail Day to kind of put it here, but actually the Beware the Mermaid is not too dark. Like, yes, I probably would still use something lighter, but I think we can, like, the greens I think can stay the way that they are. But for the purples slash pinks, I'm kind of missing one lighter shade that I can use in my inner corner, and I was really wondering between these two, but I feel like the shade Winnie is too peachy, and I don't know if it would really fit, but let me try to take it out and we'll see, because I kind of like it with the blue. Actually, maybe zoom you in a bit, show you a little bit more of a closer. Like, I kind of like it here. I also really like it with these. Like, it could look nicely with this, but I also don't know if it would like work, you know. So let me actually try. It's a very light shade, so that kind of scares me, but there's part of me that really wants this. But so that's like one of the options. Another option for me, as you can see, we have two blues in the lens palette, and like this one isn't that far from this one, so you know, I really like this shade over here, but I am really missing a light blue here, or something that I can use with the blues. So I could use the shade Nobody, and I was kind of thinking, because you have this blue, pink, 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 and purple, oh sorry, purple, purple, pink, pink. I feel like these two aren't that far from each other, especially when they're on your eyes. Like, I don't feel like you see that much different on the difference on the eyes. So maybe actually let me try to, you know what, now that I'm looking at it, these two are more similar than these two. So Devour or Tempt, I think I'm gonna take out the Tempt. We don't really need it here. And I'm kind of thinking, with the blues, the pinks, and the purples, I can use the white shade, which is called 23. So what I'm actually thinking is I'm gonna take out the shade 23. Maybe. Okay, any different like that. This one is kind of small, so sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But this is the shade 23. It's very beautiful white. And as you can see, I have that at the bottom. So I think we're gonna put it in this palette, because I can use it with the pinks, with the blues, with the purples. Like, I really like that. I can also use it with the greens, and I'm gonna have something like light even in my inner corner. So this one, I'm not gonna put it inside the pan, inside any slot. Just we're thinking right now. These two are very similar, even though this one is like a lot sparklier. But what I'm thinking, one of the dark shimmers we could put in here, because there's a lot of dark shimmers and I don't feel like we need all of them. So this one, this one, this one. Well, mainly these two are like very similar and I don't prefer them. So which one would work better? I think I'm gonna take the shade Deadly Fate. It's beautiful, but it's like very like dark gray kind of shade. And I'm not a fan of that. So I think I'm gonna put it here instead of the shade 23. I'm gonna put this one maybe here. I'm gonna put it here. So this is the shade 23. This is the shade Deadly Fate. Then this shade Tempt. So what I think we could also change up. So I can kind of use majority of the mattes for a look. Also, I really like these three. Like I feel like that could be like really pretty. But for the shimmers, not completely sure. Like these two are kind of similar. I said we kind of don't need this one also. I kind of do really want to keep this one in here. Like I could use it with a lot of these, but also it kind of needs to be in this color story. Maybe I'm gonna do the pink. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna do the pink. Okay, different magnet, sorry. So this very, very vibrant pink, sorry, I made a little bit of a bigger swatch, is called Weird Earrings. I'm gonna put it over here. And this shade, which is the shade Tempt, we're gonna put over here. I actually kind of really like these three together right now. I don't know if I'm gonna change anything else. Like it just needs like a little bit. So if I want to do blue, I have blues here, I have purples here, I can do blues with this, I can do this, I can do these three, which are really pretty. These will also look really pretty, these will look really pretty. Like this palette isn't a problem, I can do a lot with this one. This one, I can do the pinks, I can do the blues, the purples. So there's some dust here. Kind of don't really need all of the shimmers here. Like some of them are just really dark, but since I have these two light shades, I can use that as an inner corner. I would love for this shade to have for this palette to have one more inner corner, but I don't really want to use any of this because like I don't want to get rid of any of the shimmers. They are both very important in this palette. I think once I tried the shade Immerse, but that is still like too dark. Or maybe it was the Lowland Slay. Yeah, the Lowland Slay is a little bit darker, but it has a bit of a deep base. Either way, both of these I can use with the white shade. So let me see, like I can do white with this. Like if I have white, I kind of can do most things. Am I really gonna, you know what, I'm gonna swatch both of them and we'll see if it works or not. I kind of feel like this is kind of boring, that I only changed what, one, two shades. But the thing is, one shade can do a lot if you like make it correctly. So let me first swatch the Lindt palette, which we only swatched these two. Honestly, I love this color story, I love this color story, I love this color story. Like, I can do a lot with this. These will look really nicely. This will look really nicely. Like, you know, as I said, the lens palette isn't the problem here. It's not the one that I'm kind of like confused as to how to use, but we're gonna just switch this color story. So we have throwback. Let me actually put a towel here. Then we have nobody. That didn't change. I think I made that switch too big for the first shade. Anyway, so that's nobody. This is Boo. I love the consistency of this one. This wonderful creamy shade. Then we have Bestie, which is a wonderful shade. We have this one, which I think was the shade Devour, if I remember that correctly. Now, the mattes from the Beauty Below palette, they feel slightly less smooth and like soft compared to the other palettes that I have from Blambani. Now, I only have 3 palettes in total. But so this is the, what is it called? Deadly Fate, I believe, if I haven't changed it up too much. And you see, like, you can use it with the previous shade, which is called Bepis. It's a nice shade. It's just not something I use a lot in my everyday looks. Even though I do like colors and stuff, just don't really use it all that much. But maybe even these 3 would be really pretty. You know, I'm getting ideas. Then we have Graphic Tea, which is very pretty green. I do enjoy this one a lot. Then we have Lily, also very pretty, cool toned. Love these 3 together. You know what? These 4 would be really pretty. Nail Day, obviously wonderful. Love these kind of seafoamy bluey greens. Then Slay, which is my current Pendos eyeshadow shade, and I'm sorry, but this one is just magical, and you can use it with any single look, no matter what colors you use, and it's gonna be absolutely stunning. So this one, oh, I forgot that this palette actually has a uneven amount of shades. Like, it's not, is it called uneven? Like the numbers you can't divide by 2. I don't remember how it's called in English. I don't. But yeah, I love this color story. I feel like this is very me color story. I love this central column. I can do a lot with that one. So that's the revamped lens palette. I'm still kind of wondering if I shouldn't use the shade Winnie, but I don't really know which shade to change it with. Like, part of me kind of thinks about Murky Waters, but I wouldn't really have much to use that with in the lens palette. So now let's switch the other palette. So this is Devour. I'm gonna have to be very like condense with the space. This is Intoxicating, which is kind of similar to the shade Deadly Fate. It just has more purple. Sorry, you can't even see. It just has more purple, but it is still very like, I don't really think that you need both of these shades in a palette, in my humble opinion. Then we have Entrampment, which is kind of like a, I don't even know, like a really deep purpley brown. Then Deadly, sorry, not Deadly Fate. This is the Weird Earrings, I believe. So this one, a very vibrant pink that we can use. Then the shade 23, very nice white. It doesn't swatch the best, but honestly on the eyes it is actually really pigmented. Then we have Carnivorous. I don't usually go for these like very pinky purples, just not really my style, but whatever. Then we have La Land Slide. I do really like this. I just wish that there wasn't as much of the dark base, because otherwise it is so sparkly. But there's a lot of dark base for that one. Then we have Beacon. For the longest time I thought it says Beacon. So, you know. I mean, this is a really nice purple color story that I would wear a lot. Then we have Her Prey. And as you can see, Her Prey, like, compared to the shade Bapis, you can see that just this one is so much sparklier and so much more shifty, whereas this one is just slightly more, just like a peachy shimmer. But it's still pretty and I still enjoy it. It just, you know, they look really similar on the in the pan, but then they are completely different. Then we have Atargates, this one, Siren Shriek, very beautiful, like very bright pink, and I think it's gonna look really nice with the white. Then we have the Dark Truth, which is gorgeous green. Like, I'm sorry, but this green is just so, it reminds me of Christmas tree, like the typical Christmas tree color that you have on pictures and stuff. Then Irresistible is genuinely gorgeous. I love that, especially with this shade called Trans. I'm sorry, but that is stunning. And this one has a little bit of like a hollow sparkle, maybe you can see, but it has like a green, purple, blue, gold, maybe something else. Like, it has a bit of a, almost like a hollow effect. Very, very pretty. That one is genuinely gorgeous. I just, you know, they could have worked on this color story a little bit more. This one is just like a matte black. It's called Take Heat. Then we have Cursed, which again is one of those. This one is more like a brown with a little bit of purple flip. But again, like really dark shimmer, and I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of similar shimmers here. And I feel like this palette had a little bit more potential maybe. But I'm still gonna keep it because it's really nice shades and I can always build my color stories on my own. And I do really like collecting eyeshadow palettes that have magnetic bands. Then this one called Pulled Under. As you can see, it has a lot of different sparkles inside of this purple shade. But again, like, it's not that far from the rest of them. I'm gonna just sound like a broken record. Then we have Mesmerizing. So it's like a brown, orange, green. Interesting shimmer, not something that I really go for, but with the greens it looks pretty. Then we have Beware the Mermaid, which obviously, like, I love shades like these. Again, not as light as I would want it to for the like inner third of my lid, or like my crease, but I can use the white to make it more like the shade more like the shade Nail Day. Then we have Trans, which is absolutely stunning. It's like a gold green. This one is just so pretty and a really sparkly one. And I wish all shimmers in this palette were like that. And we have this one, which is Murky Waters, which is just kind of like a taupey green. Immerse, really beautiful shade. Kind of this like periwinkle blue purple. Very stunning. But again, for me, it has a bit too of a dark, it's too dark for me to use it in the inner corner most of the time. And this one is so interesting because the watery gray, it's like a grayish blue. It's kind of very denim-like, and I love that. So this is kind of the color story that I'm currently working with. And let me actually show you like this as well. And I feel like this is a lot better color story. It's still very dark. It's still like true to the theming, I believe. But it's just a little bit more me color story, and I think I'm gonna be able to just work with it a little bit better. And then this is the Lens palette, and we just, you know, made a couple consecutive decisions. There's slightly more darkness, but still we have a lot of really light shades like this one, this one, this one, this one. Like I still can do pretty light looks with this. And I think I'm still gonna use the Beauty Billow palette with my Divination palette by Blend Bunny in collaboration with Robert Welsh, because that one has even more like really pastel-y shades for just the everyday type of look that I do. But this way I think I'm gonna be able to use the palette on its own if I really want to, and still have fun and be able to enjoy it in a way that I prefer. So let me know what you think about this color story, what you think about my changes. I know it wasn't too much, but I still wanted to keep the essence of the lens palette because that one is genuinely wonderful and I really enjoy it. And I didn't want it to like screw it up. So here's the last look on these palettes. They're gorgeous. And with that, I think I can just say my goodbyes, and let me know what would you change about this color story if it isn't your cup of tea, and